So till now we have a very brief idea what we can do in clean room. So we have shown these devices that we have fabricated here itself. So now the more interesting part, what is there in clean room? So we'll demonstrate. So because for that Haripya is there, my colleague. So we both will go inside and we'll show how to enter the clean room, what are the protocols, what will be the do's and don'ts, how to how to deal with the tools, what are all the restricted materials inside clean room. So we'll discuss all these and we'll go. So she is already with her samples. So let us see yours to go inside. So as I told, there are many restricted materials, so you cannot take your bags from outside to clean room inside. So we have separated racks for that. So first thing, whatever you have, basically your sweatshirts, jackets, your bag, any outside material, you have to leave it in rack. Then as a next step, you have to remove your shoes, because outside shoes are not allowed inside. So we have dedicated places for keeping the things in. So here you can see there's that entry is restricted. So you have to give your biometric and you are allowed to go in after that. Okay, so as you can see, she is going inside. So she cannot take that sample directly in. So she will place it in pass box, as we can see from here. So pass box is opened and now she is keeping it in. Now she will close it from here, and the other side we can see one more door. She will go inside and take it from there. So now we have entered the clean room. So whenever you enter a clean room, first you will end up in a gowning area where you have to wear your gown, your shoe cover, your mask, all these things. So we'll show that, but before that let us start with what is a clean room. Basically a clean room is a dedicated area or a dedicated lab where contamination, particle count, humidity, temperature, everything is controlled. So here there are various types of clean rooms, or they can be classified as per the particle counts mainly. So if we see, this is the clean room where we are standing now. This is class 1000, class 10,000 clean room. So what does it mean? So class N clean room means in 1 feet by 1 feet by 1 feet volume, there can be maximum N number of particles with diameter 0.5 micron. So basically in this definition, we are classifying clean room based on how many particles are there in unit volume, and that should be with a particular diameter. So we are taking 0.5 micron as the standard diameter. This is the standard definition of a clean room. So class 10,000 clean room that you are standing here, it means there will be at any point in the clean room, there will be maximum 10,000 particles with diameter 0.5 micron or more in 1 feet by 1 feet by 1 feet volume. So now, as I mentioned, that this clean room is class 1000, class 10,000. That means the normal area is class 10,000, and whenever we are using any bench, like any weight benches, lithography area, those parts are way cleaner. So that is class 1000 range. So actually when we did the particle count here, we found that here in the normal in our normal area, normal premises, the particle count is around 3000 to 3800 particles per cubic feet area that has a diameter of more than 0.5 micrometer. And when we checked inside the benches, so it turned out to be around 900. So from there only we could classify that, okay, then this normal area is around 10,000, class 10,000, and the benches are class 1000. So that is about our clean room specifications. So if you go for standard fabrication procedures, standard device level fabrications, standard device fabrications. So there you will find class 1, class 10 clean rooms as well, like by Intel or other fab facilities. But here, as we are focusing more on fabricating devices for biomedical applications and performing surgeries, rat surgeries in-house. Here only we can fabricate the device, we can characterize, and we can go for experimentation. So we decided that class 10,000 is pretty good and a standard one for this type of applications. So that is about the clean room, but it is not only the particle count that is controlled by this. With particle count, we usually control the humidity, because humidity plays a very important role in few processes. For example, lithography. So whether it will be successful or not, that depends on temperature as well as humidity. So even humidity is controlled here, and usually that range used to be in like relative humidity will be in between around 40 to 45%, and the temperature will be always kept around 19 to 20 degrees Celsius. That is about like general specification about the clean room. Now here you may have a question, how we are maintaining this particle count always, or you can say how we are maintaining cleanliness in clean room. So that is done by air handling unit or AHU. So that AHU usually that will be outside the clean room, and ducts from there will come inside, and through filters it will press, or it will kind of, you can say, even it will flow the air with a higher pressure from top of the surface to the clean room. So here you can see one, we will show it on top. So there is one filter there, we'll show it in some time. So here you can, and here whenever the air is flowing from the top, it is always a laminar flow, because if it is a laminar flow, then whatever we are wearing, that may have some particles, so it can take particles out from there and put it on the floor. In that way, this environment can be cleaner. And the second reason is, if the flow is turbulent, then it is difficult to recycle the same air again and again, like recycle and filtering the air. To maintain all this, usually streamline flow or laminar flow of air is maintained. Here you can control, like from AHU you can control how much outside air or fresh air you allow to inlet and how much you want to recycle. That depends on like how you want to maintain your clean room. So here we will show you from the places from where you can from where the air flows and from where the air will get suction. That is one thing. And as we told that this is artificial environment, that we are making it something cleaner for our fabrication purposes. As we are maintaining this environment for fabrication purposes, so there are many materials that are not allowed inside clean room. Already we have I have mentioned a few, like you cannot wear your sweatshirt or jacket because that contains a lot of dust particles usually. You cannot wear outside shoes inside. Other than that, there are many other restricted materials, like if you have any marker pen, from where you can get some VOCs or volatile compounds that you can smell at least. So by that you will understand whether VOCs are getting generated or not. That is a very crude way of understanding it. So for that, any sketch pen or any any ink pen, these things are not allowed inside clean room. That is one. Then whatever the materials available in clean room, that should be of non-shed materials. So let's say we are seeing this thing. So this is a metal wall. You cannot shed any material from here, so it will not leave or release any material in environment which can help in increasing particle count. So all these materials will be non-shed materials here, as well as the floor will be like that. That is the first thing. Second, you cannot wear any wet cloth inside, because any wet cloth will help to increase humidity inside clean room, and that will like hamper the maintained environment inside. So you are not allowed to wear any wet cloth inside. Third, you cannot wear any oversized clothes, because it should not come out of your hand or should not be loose from any end, because it can get caught in any of the tools. It will damage the tool first of all, and it is a safety hazard for you as well. So these are the things, and like only clean clothes are allowed. Though we will gown and go inside, still we cannot gown also wearing any dirty cloth, because that will, first of all, that will contaminate the gown, and secondly, that contaminated gown will contaminate the inside environment. See, as I am in gowning area, I can just wear like this, and like we are discussing now like this. But whenever we will go inside, we have to gown properly, and then only we will be allowed to get in, as just now we discussed. So see here, this is the inlet, so air will come there, laminar flow, so that is one, and after this it will go there, that is the exit. So it will maintain a recirculation process. So ducts and everything is inside that wall, in between or above this floor, sorry, or above this, and here there is a sticky mat, that blue thing, I think you can find it out, pretty interesting stuff. So whenever we are going in, we'll step on that, so whatever dust particles are there below the clean room shoes, it will get stuck there, then we can go inside. So that will keep our clean room little more cleaner. So okay, that is the thing. So before going inside, we have to wear few things like some PPE or personal protective equipments. So from there we will start that now. So here, this is one of those. This is a shoe cover that you should wear on your, you should wear it, because that will keep the like whatever dust particles on your shoes, that will be inside the shoe cover, so it will not contaminate the clean room environment. Then here, this is hairband, so you can open it and wear it, so that your dust particles from your hair or the hair itself will not fall on the fabricated device, because I hope you know that our hair can like contain a lot of dust particles, first of all, and second, one hair that has a diameter of 70 to 100 micron, that itself can act as a contamination, and that can fall on a device, and many devices will get damaged in a single go just by one hair. So this is one of the mandatory things before entering the clean room. Here is the mask. So we will wear the mask, because if we wear the mask, this will act in both ways. First of all, when you are exhaling, there will be a lot of humidity in your exhale breath, so that will be mostly absorbed by this, so you are not contributing in humidity of this clean room. That is first thing. And by any chance, if you spit or something like by mistake, so that will not fall on your device. So that is more important from your device perspective. Your device should not be contaminated. That is in one way. And second way, let's say if you are working with some chemicals, and let's say fume is getting generated, so you should not sniff that fume. If this is there, so this will act as one layer of protection for you. So most of the, it will not allow most of the things to, most of the vapor to go in. That is this utility. Then we have the gloves. So if you can see this blue color, these are nitrile gloves, powder free. So there are reason of using these gloves. First of all, we should not wear any gloves that contains powder, because that powder itself will be a contamination for your device. And if we can see the powders, that means it is pretty big in size, because most of the device of like 10 or 15 micrometer feature size, we cannot even see that with our bare eyes other than using microscope. So if we can see those particles, that means that one particle is enough to damage one part of your device, or completely maybe few of the devices, if your device density on the wafer is more. So we need these powder free gloves first, and material should be nitrile, not latex, because latex gloves has no chemical resistance. So in one way, if you wear this, so your sweat and all other things will not contaminate the wafer first. And when we are wearing a gloves, we should not hold it like that, then its basic purpose is not served. Whatever sweat and dust particles I have, I am transferring it to the fingers of these gloves. That should not be the case. So you just wear it, minimum contact, and wear this. That is how you should wear gloves. And now nitrile, because it is little bit chemical resistant, not little bit, basically thin nitrile gloves that we are using for day-to-day use, that can actually handle if it is very low concentration acid or low concentration base, then your hands will not be affected. If it spills also on your hand, then also it will not be affected. That is the first thing. And secondly, these nitrile gloves can withstand acetone or IPA, like these solvents, ethanol, any of the solvents that we use in daily basis. However, not only these thin nitrile gloves, we have many types of nitrile gloves. Like we have thin nitrile gloves, thick nitrile gloves. More than that, we have MAPA gloves. After MAPA gloves, we have Eftalon gloves. So MAPA gloves are good for little stronger acid. That is basically acid protective gloves. Or separate acid gloves are available, like that you should wear when you are doing any chemical process, like any etching or cleaning. When using that, or you have to wear with these thin nitrile gloves, you have to wear a thick nitrile gloves. That is also available. One gloves on top of the other one. So it will be a protection against the chemicals. Like that you can safely handle acids or base, maybe with some higher concentration. So these are the things basically we have, and we will show how to do, because for gowning procedure we have kind of process, kind of a flow. So we cannot wear one after another just randomly. There are reasons why we are wearing in that particular flow, or why we are maintaining that flow. So my colleague Haripriya is here. She will gown and go inside, and we will discuss that time why which of the PPE should be worn first and why it will be worn in that order. As my colleague Haripriya already kept her desiccator in the pass-through chamber we have shown earlier. So now she has to go in and collect the desiccator from inside, because you cannot carry something directly and go like that. So inside there is some airflow, so that will some dust particle count will be minimized. So now she will show how to wear all these PPEs, like basically the gowning procedure, and in the process we will discuss what to do and what not to do during gowning and while going inside clean room. So as I have already shown, so all these PPEs are here: mask, gloves, hairnet, shoe cover. Now she will follow the particular order and complete her gowning procedure. So she as a first step, she will start with mask. So usually this gowning procedure will be followed strictly in any of the clean rooms. So these are has to be followed strictly. So first, then it will be hairnet is the second process. Now you can see here she has a long hair, so she should make sure that hair completely should be inside that hairnet. she cannot keep it outside. So from this way, like from forehead region or from neck region, it should not be visible or it should not come out of the hairnet. That is the first thing, because we already mentioned that hair will contain lot of contaminants. So that is the first, and that is our second procedure is over. Now she will wear shoe cover, because already you have mentioned that your foot will contain a lot of dust particles, so she will put one here. So cleanliness of this area and the other side, that area is different. So we can wear, or we can move here with barefoot, but we will not do that there. So she did that. So after that, she will put that gown or the suit. So usually we keep it inside with airflow, laminar airflow again from top, so that whatever dust particles are there in the whatever dust particles are there on the suit, that will fall. So it will be more cleaner than the normally kept suits. So this is the standard way. First you have to put your legs there, then like it is in that way. So after that your hands will go like that, normal wearing normal suits. You should make sure that on top of your hairnet, this one more cover will be there. So you should make sure about that. Then there should not be any exposed area except shoe covered foot and the hands after wearing this suit. So that much you should make sure first. So after that, shoes. So after this, she will wear shoes and gloves will be at the last. So she is wearing clean room shoes. So if you can see, this is a special type of shoes and it is little bit chemical resistant also. So if some chemical spills, it will not affect her legs. Okay. So now she is completely gowned except the gloves. Why gloves at the last? Because just after this gowning, you will go inside and start your procedure. So if you wear gloves first or in between any steps, so you will gather more dust particles on the gloves itself before starting the process, and that will affect the device fabrication. So wear the gloves as the last phase or at the last step of your gowning, and in that way you can cover your hand and you can eliminate gathering dust particle on the gloves. And there is a particular way of wearing the gloves that she is showing now. You can see there. So gloves should be on top of the gown or that cuff. Cuff will go inside and gloves will come out of that. Why is it so? This is because, so if any dust particle or if any contamination generated by your skin or by you basically, so that will not or that should not fall in the clean room. So it will be contained in gloves in this way. If you wear gloves in this way, so it will come through the cuff and it will fall inside the gloves. So now she is ready to go inside, because she is wearing all the PPE, that is minimum requirement to enter the clean room, and I am still standing here at this side because I am not even wearing shoe cover, not even wearing any of the PPEs. So for me to go in, I have to follow the same procedure that she followed. So now she is entering the clean room. So first she just stepped on the sticky mat, so that some dust particles, whatever below the shoe, that will get stuck to the mat and she can go in after this. So see, she is going in, and whatever dust particles are there, that will be that is stuck to the mat itself. So these sticky mats, after some usage, this sticky mat will be full of dust. That time you just remove one layer, put a new sticky mat, That is how you can keep the environment little more cleaner. As she entered the clean room, we can see that she directly went to the acid bench. That she just switched on the light and suction for that hood, and then she will take the sample that she kept in pass box. So at here she is opening the pass box to get the sample. He is taking that whole desiccator from there, close it again, and so she will now open the desiccator, and from there she is now taking the sample that she wants to process. And with that, okay, then just close the desiccator. Ideally we should keep the desiccator always under vacuum, so she has to keep it under vacuum, but after process she will keep her samples, and then she will do the same. Okay, so she will start process. So in this module we have discussed the fundamental things about clean room, how to define clean room, what type of clean rooms we have, then what is the usage of this pass box, how she put it once from this side and took it from the other side, not directly taking the samples inside, and then how she gowned, like wearing all the PPE in a particular order. Then she took the samples from that side and went till the the hood for the next chemical process. So we have seen these things today, why this sticky mat is used, why these type of PPE kits are required. All these things we have discussed. In our next module we will show any of the process. We will start with the actual fabrication processes from the next module. Till then, take care. Thank you.